Everyone, and welcome to the Action Figure-atorium. My name is Mark Major. I am a real big toy collector here in Southeast Portland, hunkered down as it were, and the videos this week where I cover Kickstarters, marketing analysis, they're dropping like flies, people. We've got the third one for the week. This is from Icon Heroes, their Jitsu line. I have covered these guys in the past. We're going to get into that. The previous campaign they did was a bunch of Kung Fu cats. Well, they're back again for a sort of wave 2, and this time they're Kung Fu dogs. That's right, the previous wave was called Claws. This one is called Fangs. But will it succeed? Chances are probably not, but they'll still get the toys made anyways because, you know, history repeats itself. So everybody come together, strap on the leather, hold on tight. Let's switch over, shall we, to our desktop cam. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the first campaign, it looked a lot like this, people. It looked a lot like this. They were trying to make these four sort of, and that's just a drawing, four sort of martial arts humanoid figures. They've got human bodies. They're all in sort of these karate uniforms, but they've got the heads of big cats, panthers, leopards, tigers, and maybe one other one, whatever you can think of. Not sure what it is. So these guys were originally sculpted by the Four Horsemen, right? And the photography, the marketing photography was done by a cat whose handle is 1/6 shooter, and they were trying to get $98,000. They got $8,000. And what does that go to show you? It goes to show you that it doesn't matter who does the sculpting or who presses the button on the camera. It doesn't guarantee that your product is going to fund, because ultimately at the end of the day, it takes a great marketing strategy to create a great product that people want. Now, these guys happen to have gotten the product made regardless. Why? Because they are a pop culture company that does a bunch of licensed Marvel tchotchkes. Specifically, they did like little pins and whatnot. I remember if you check out my previous video, and I will link to it here, Kung Fu Cats, which I reviewed it. I showed their website and showed some of the products. So they apparently were able to come up with the funding outside of the Kickstarter. All right, so we get the previous one. That was a year ago. Now let's talk about the current one. It's this. It's called Fangs, right? Look at that. Fangs. See what I'm dishing up here? Same kind of thing you can see with the karate uniforms, and this time the dog heads. They've got the Doberman. They've got the Bulldog. I don't know, the German Shepherd maybe? I don't know. A fox? I don't know. Yeah, Flicker the Red Fox. Whistler the Gray Wolf. All right, I said German Shepherd, I was wrong. Black Doberman, Pit Bull. So right there, I've got kind of a disconnect because some of these are domestic creatures, right? Like a Pit Bull and a Doberman. I said Bulldog, but you know, whatever. And then the other ones are kind of wild feral animals. A fox, a wolf. I mean, yeah, they're in the canine family, but already I'm getting a bit of a disconnect. I think if you're going to go feral canines, go the full route. If you're going to go, you know, it's just a family pet, you know, do Labradors and hound dogs and golden retrievers and have like a little one of those, you know, those little yappy dogs, those purse puppies. I don't know, whatever. But it's the same kind of thing where it's basically what and I don't want to say I bitched about it because I think these would be, they do have a fun factor. I think they would be kind of fun to have, but is this the kind of thing that people are going to blow money on? Not sure. It's basically just a human body and you stick like an animal head on it. It's almost the kind of thing like maybe they should just sell head packs of animal heads that people can put on other existing bodies. That's one sort of approach to it. Also, look at this, improved neck articulation. That shows me that the previous figures had something wrong with the necks where they probably couldn't move. And again, if you're just in this to get some animal heads and, you know, some stretch goals. These are crazy stretch goals. They're going to give you an embroidered patch or something like that. I don't know. Tchotchkes are always great, but you know, you got to just make that as sort of add-on purchases for people who just want to scoop more stuff in the bag. Okay, let's look and see how much these things are costing. 40 bucks. 40 bucks a figure. 40 bucks for a wolf, and you can get them in a variety of colors. Again, I think you could just sell the bucks on their own. You can get any of these Dobermans, foxes, wolves, pit bulls, any color, 40 bucks. Early Bird Fangs, the 4-pack, 140. Not bad. Then there's something called the just the regular 4-pack, 150. I think I should just make all 4-packs 140. Skip the Early Bird thing. And Early Bird all-in and just a regular all-in. Now, I want to see what are some add-ons. So for add-ons, you can just add on extra figures. I don't see that you can add on things like a shirt, like a pin, like a hoodie, which is kind of unusual because if you go to their website, let's click on it, Icon Heroes, right? They've got action figures for sale, and these are the previous waves. See, they got them made, 35 bucks. They've got comic books that cover this line of toys, and then look, they've got all this different apparel. They've got hoodies and sweatpants and tank tops and hats, all this kind of cool stuff going on. You would think that they would have a lot of this stuff available for sale on this to help get the sales up, all right? So I'm going to just right out of the gate, and again, I'm not hating on these toys by saying this. I think they look like they have a lot of fun in them. I think like karate guys with animal heads, I think is kind of fun, right? If they're 1/12 scale, they can run around and fight everyone, anyone, right? But I don't think that this is the kind of thing that's really sort of getting people going the way people buy things like the G.I. Joe figures these days, or Valaverse if they're in the modern military, or if they're in the fantasy figures, the way they're buying things like Mythic Legions, and of course Savage Crucible, which is moving up real fast, catching up to Mythic Legions. And then of course we've got some other guys sort of hanging out in the background like Brutal Realm. They might be coming up, right? We've got plenty of Cokes, Pepsis, and RC Colas out there of these different genres, and this genre just really isn't a thing that people are into. There's no thing where people are into like just mysterious animal karate people. I mean, some people are, but just not enough for it to be a mainstream thing, which explains why when they were trying to get 98,000 before, they only got 8,000 this time around, only looking for 57,000. That's almost half of what they were trying to get before, right? And they're already up to like 1,490 with 10 backers. I mean, it's going to take a lot of people to plunk down dough to get this made. However, the last wave failed at Kickstarter. They still had it made. So I'm going to say, right, that these guys are not going to fund. 44 days is going to go by, and they're going to be up to $5,000 maximum, right? Maximum $5,000 on something like this, based upon the previous campaign, not based upon whether I like it or don't like it. I have no control over that, right? I could love this. I could love that it's indie. I could love that it's probably, I assume that I didn't see it in their, you know, their literature. They didn't mention the Four Horsemen Studios sculpting it, but if they sculpted the previous ones, maybe they sculpted these ones, right? Okay, so there's a lot of things that I should fan out about this, right? And, it's, you know, again, it's not a hatred, but based upon the previous one, this is maybe going to hit $5,000 and not fun. But just like the previous one, maybe they're going to pull out some mysterious money, and they're going to get these made, and we'll have them available. And you know what? Here's another thing, people. This could be, right? This could be one of those weird sleeper lines that 10, 15 years from now, People are trying to find them. They're all super rare, ultra rare. You can't get them anywhere. Haven't seen one, don't know what they look like, heard about them, can't even find a web page for them. Can't even go to the Internet Archive. It's photos missing, right? And people are going to be looking for these. They're going to be paying high dollar amount of money for these weird action figures that nobody wanted. That is a prediction. And if in 15 years from now I'm wrong, come back to this video and roast me in the comments, and make it a good roast too, not one of these sort of like, you're kind of, no, go full on ham if in 15 years from now if I'm wrong. So thanks to everybody who made it this far into the video. You are appreciated. Liking, subscribing, naturally. You're naturally doing those things all the time. You've been trained to do it, and why stop now? But everyone else, let's take charge, people. You know what I'm saying?